results. Revenue at 3.17 billion euros, up 4.2% year over year.
Reporting third quarter sales up 4.8%. Franklin Golf Romeo.
And Fed policy will be driven by the pace of the data. Same policy will remain accommodative.
Futures off sessions low, still down about 1% on the day for a little more than 4 pennies.
That iron butterfly back for somewhere around 10 cents.
Incredible.
So your profit would have been quite huge. This was a day that I traded. I got a profit of about 21% in under 2 hours. And had I stayed in the trade longer, I could have made much more than that.
Right.
All right. And I'll explain why you don't always stay in to the very end of the session, but to pick your interest, I'll use that slide.
Great.
So as far as pinning goes, it's a pretty well-known phenomenon. So there are a number of different studies that have demonstrated the phenomenon, have shown that it occurs much more frequently than you'd expect by chance.
Mm-hmm.
If you're interested in reading some of these studies, you can Google them. Just Google for option pinning, and I think you probably pick up most of the studies.
Right.
I think it's better still the Jeff Augen book, Trading Options at Expiration. That one, he goes into a lot more detail that I think a trader would care about for the phenomenon. He gives you a lot of good ideas, and he has a very analytical approach, so you can see how a very astute analytical person would break down and measure the phenomenon and figure out different ways that you could trade, not just pinning, but related effects that happen on the Expiration Thursday. So I love his books. I've done very well trading using ideas I got from several of his books, and I really can't recommend them highly enough to people.
Great.
Now, one thing I'll say about pinning is that the pinning effects that I'll describe, they apply to stocks, but they don't really apply to ETFs, and they don't really apply to stock indexes.
Yeah.
And I've heard people sometimes in the past when they're just getting into expiration type trading and getting interested in pinning, say things like, well, I did a pinning trade on SPX, or I did a pinning trade on NDX, or something like that, and I just cringe. But I figure, the School of Hard Knocks is a pretty stern teacher, and you can learn pretty quickly. So pinning really, what I'm talking about, applies to stocks, not just any stock, but stocks generally have to have high prices. You have to have high open interest. And the reason for that is the option trading has to have a significant, dramatic impact on what happens to the stock price during the course of the trading session.
Right.
So you can do a little mental experiment. If you had the number of outstanding shares of a Google and you had open interest of one put option at the strike price, you wouldn't expect much impact. But if you had 5,000 options at the strike price, and those were likely to get traded several, 2-3 times during the course of a session, they could have some impact.
So what's your definition of a high price? What would be the lowest price stock that you would?
Thank you for watching this clip of our Options Tribe webinar. The rest of the recording is available on optionstribe.com. I'm Seth Freudberg, and I've been hosting the Options Tribe since May of 2011. We've brought in options experts from all over the world to make excellent presentations to our members. So go right now to optionstribe.com to learn more about options education, or you can send me an email at sfreudberg@smbcap.com.